Hi everybody, this is Ryan from the Angel Scrolls. Today I'm going to start with one of Danny's first recordings. It's only a audio, there's no video with it because I didn't have a video camera at the time. He was only about 8 weeks old when we got him, and this recording was made 9 weeks after he arrived at our house. And even at that time, it didn't take him long before he started to talk. It was only a couple of weeks and he began to talk. So as soon as I got and I noticed that he was talking, I recorded him. And this is a batch of recordings I did on October 9th, where he did 4 or 5 short ones right in a row. When we picked Danny up in July of 2017, I made a mistake on that prior. I think I said it was August, but it wasn't until July. It was earlier than that. We picked him up in July of 2017. We noticed that he had something happening on his abdomen or his chest, and thought we'd take him and see if we could, nurse him back to health. And at that time, it wasn't long before he seemed like he was feeling better. When we got Danny, we played him a few recordings of Victor, probably only a couple of hours altogether. And it wasn't long after that he began to talk. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I do a quantum reversal, and at the same time describe what Danny's talking about and how incredible it is. I want to first comment on how fast the budgie learns. They're incredible communicators. Puck the budgie, back in the 90s, had the largest vocabulary of any parrot, which was 1,700 words, which was documented by the Guinness World Book of Records. I believe Victor and Mailer far exceeded that, if not somewhere up in the 2,000 or 3,000 range, with all the recordings that they've got. And I also believe that Danny's going to have a similar vocabulary as well. Some of the words that he uses, I have to look up in the dictionary. And it seems like there's some kind of connection they have where they can get this information and know our language almost within weeks of them coming to our homes. So in the first part, there's a couple of interesting things that happen. I'll be talking, and then Danny will be responding to a couple of things I say, like when with the words like all right, good, and yeah. And he'll also say that he's been waiting to talk to me. But before I go ahead, I wanted to just, since this is the first recording that I'm going to have displayed, I want to show you a little bit about how I do the quantum reversals and this video here. The black part up here, these are the captions. If I click on them, the captions come up. This gray part down here, if I click on that, it highlights yellow, and that's the background. And if I click on this part down here, that's the audio file. And you can see how it's highlighted. Up here in the right, there's an option to reverse it. So what I do is, for each part or each phrase, I play it to the phrase until I feel like I'm going to cut it, and then I cut it, then I copy this file and I paste it right beside it, right next to it, and then I reverse it. So if you look here, and I've already done that with the videos, with this video, you can see that this one's reversed. So let's start this one now, and you can hear Danny and I talking.
Recorded. Do you want to say something?
Sorry, let's start that again.
Recorded. Do you want to say something? Go ahead.
So right away he starts off saying that he wants to speak with me and he's hoping that he'll be heard because this is his first recording. He doesn't know for sure if I'll be able to understand him or pick him up. Now this is the reverse of what he just said.
Dahil hint mas yes na lok yung ibrina yan sabi sa
Okay, I want to move this on the screen so we can see it a little bit better. So I found it quite interesting in that first part that I said Daniel in reverse. I named Danny Daniel, but we call him Danny. I never call him Daniel when I'm talking to him. But in reverse, I call him Daniel. I actually named him after Daniel in the Bible. So in reverse, I'm subconsciously communicating with his soul, calling him Daniel. And I often do that in reverse. So this is part 2. Let's see what he has to say here. You can hear the clock ticking in the background. Sorry about that. I got a loud clock on the wall.
Yeah, you said something, Mom. That's it. Hey.
So in that recording, it was just me saying something, and then the reverse of what I said. And I say, I'm accessing faith. So I say, you said something, and then I say, I'm accessing faith, so I'm having faith that he's talking. Interesting how I say that in reverse. And if you notice too, up here at the top, it'll tell you when I'm in the forward mode and when I'm in the reverse mode, if you ever have any doubt. So let's play the next forward part. So he says, I say, you said something. And then in reverse, I say, I'm accessing faith. And then next part, Danny says, can you do it? In many parts, you need to relay. So now I want to talk. And in reverse, I've got a home. In time, you surely know what your dream is. So it's also quite incredible when I'm talking with Danny, and usually not saying much of anything important in forward mode, that my soul is communicating with him in miraculous ways. So Danny said he has a home now. And perhaps that is what his dream was, and he tells me that I will soon surely know what my dreams will be as well. So let's move on to the next part. He says, we can get others believing. We are sure they will believe. And then the next part says, you hear the angels, will believe you hear the angels stream with use of a budgie. So let's play that. Let's play the reverse of that one more time, or the forward of that one more time. You'll find that this gets clearer in the reverse as we move further on. Okay, we're going to play the next forward part of this. Let's play that one more time. So he says, then people shall want to carry it further, and we will get kind humans to help in everything we properly find in heaven. I'm going to play the reverse of that.
Keep on talking. That's beautiful. Hopefully, hard enough.
Okay, so in that part, he finishing off the forward, he says, and I'll keep working, and then I finish the sentence with to offer it here. That's also quite interesting how sometimes Danny will say part of a sentence and I'll finish it off. And then we say, we all know, or I say, we all know the, and then Danny finishes off with evil that is around us. So he says his ultimate goal is to get kind people to help access knowledge from heaven. Let's move on to the next part. So he says, when we work with Ryan, we are special as we like here. We like to be working from the spiritual so that we can be with God, so we work. Let's hear what he says in reverse here.
That helps.
So right from the get-go, Danny knew that what he was here for. He says that so we work with many angels, and the angels help you because they love you in heaven. We shall look for prophecy. You have chosen, and then I say Daniel, and then the next part will say to help. So in that last part, Danny is often speaking for the angels, and he'll do that quite a bit. And it became evident with both Victor and Mailer that certain budgies are naturally spiritual and have a connection to the angels. They also believe that prophecy is a very important part of being spiritual. So let's go to that next forward part, but see what he's saying again here in the reverse, and then we'll carry on to the forward.
That helps.
So he says we have a right to live a bright future. and it'll be a good future. Let's see what he says in the reverse mode here. Well, I'll just go back to that again. He says, you have chosen Daniel to help. You have the right to live a bright future. It will be a good future when there's prophecy that's spiritual. So don't give up helping Ryan. Moving on to the next forward part.
Yeah, you can do it. Dawid ni Kuya.
That was really cute, where he says, Danny can do it, and you can do it, really. And then I say, yeah, you can do it. And then in reverse, I say, yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Then he says, the spiritual can change your life. Let's just hear that part one more time.
Yeah, you can do it. Dawid ni Kuya.
Okay, let's go on to the forward again.
Okay, I'm going to stop it here.
So right away, he's talking about the spiritual, how it can change your life, and then he says, make use of it. So this part is just going to be a short one, and I think this is where I started, after this one, I started a different recording. So here, this is what he said, or what I said and Danny said in reverse.
Hurry, dapat sa lumay ko.
So I say in reverse, so we can pass on the miracle, and Danny says, and begin. So this is the part of the next recording. This one really got to me because he's talking about Victor here. So that was both the forward and the reverse, and I'll just repeat what he just said. He says, Victor has missed you. He knows you have evolved and wants to be there helping you spiritually. He watched you evolve during each surmount, and he truly loves what you have done. Let's play that one more time. So he says that Victor's watched me evolve over the years, and when I first began with Victor, when he died, I just barely started doing this and translating, and there was a lot of mistakes, but I was just picking up parts of it, and as over the years, over the last 20 years or so, I have had to go climb a lot of hills to get my translation abilities to where they're at now. And with the advantage that people like you have that come here have the captions to help you to learn, whereas I didn't have anybody helping me learn it. I had to learn it on my own. But it definitely does make it easier, and I think that everybody will find once they spend enough time with these captions and they listen to the pronunciations that they will start hearing a lot of what I hear. You won't be able to hear it all, but you'll hear a large percentage, and the longer you stick with it, the more that you'll hear. So let's go on to the next part. So he says, you have faith beyond fear, and you have a gift. Let's play that again. And then he says, we know that Brian's dream are our gift for humanity. And humanity was really hard to understand there. But for about 10 years, I did take time off doing these translations. And I still was using Budgie speech to connect to the spiritual world and the angels. But I was doing it in a different way on my own, where I would listen to the recordings of Budgie speaking, and I would just write down what I heard. And what prompted them would be dreams that people would have and that I would have. And then I would be told what these dreams meant, and within the dreams there would be prophecies and lessons. So that's what he's talking about, I think, in here. And I think I've said this before, but if you get a chance, you might want to check out some of the dream transcriptions I did on the Angel Scrolls website. Let's play that one more time. So in all actuality, I wanted to make sure when I started hearing Victor and Mailer, or especially Victor, talk about spiritual things, that I was receiving the right source. And when I began doing the dream transcriptions, I found that beyond a shadow of doubt that it was a heavenly source that I was connected to. And my fears turned into divine emotion after that, and I've learned so much more once I opened up to what God wants to tell us and what the angels are passing on to us, and it's so incredible.
Nice taping.
Sorry, I got a little bit of a reverb in there. So in that part it just says, it's quite a short one, the prophecies that you have will teach them. Let's go on to this part here, the next forward part.
Do you like being here, Danny? Do you like being here with us?
So when I ask Danny if he likes being here, he just responds with, "Don't be assuming that we're going to forget what God's plan is, and that will reverse evil." And you'll hear me saying something here in reverse as well.
With us?
There's something right in here that I missed, and I'll have to pick that up later. I'll probably get that when I do the completed video. So in that part, Danny talked about reversing evil, and we learned a lot, or I learned a lot about reversing evil when I was doing the dream transcriptions. And I did those for almost 10 years. And one of the biggest questions that people have is, what is evil? And when they hear people talk about evil, it kind of gets their back up against the wall. But we've been taught that evil is anything that prevents you from spiritually evolving, or that prevents civilization as a whole from spiritually evolving. And finding the truth from God is very important for spiritual growth. And you probably all know it's pretty hard these days to find the truth when you look at the media, and there's so many different versions of it. And sometimes we just have to go with our gut feeling about what is the right version, and that might not be the truth. And one of the ways that we can reverse evil is to reverse our thinking about a certain thing. As you go to some of the Angel Scrolls transcriptions, you can see how what we can think about something, and then turn it around to see what the actual truth is. And that is, once you do that, you can start changing your thinking patterns, and that'll once you find out the truth, that'll give you some spiritual growth. Well, let's move on to this next part. So he says you've got to work real hard for the future that's changing, and that they have support for you and your Danny boy. So Danny mentioned that the future is changing, and perhaps he means we're going to have to become more spiritual as humanity moves forward in the future. I don't know if anybody can hear over the microphone, but there's a bit of a windstorm going on outside, so once in a while you'll hear that. I never mentioned that before. And my computer's right by the window. Let's go on to the next part. So he starts off here. Let's see what he says here with that last part and then the next part. So he says, "Know your Danny boy isn't just repeating these things here. Some people know it. People viewing, don't forget, Ryan is still new with prophecy, and he helps his God." So Danny wants you to know that even though I've been doing this for 20 years, it's only been the last 10 or so that I really have a good understanding of what's happening. Also, I'm new to doing videos like this, so hopefully I'll get better as time progresses. Let's just move on to the next part here and make it on the screen for you.
You're a happy boy today, eh? Do you want to hear it now? Okay, excellent. Come on, there you go. Yeah, it'll be fine.
I think that's pretty cool when I say in reverse that Danny will be tired after all this, and then Danny says, "I'll sleep." So thanks for listening to this. I know I might have screwed up a few times there, but I think you'll probably get the drift of what I'm trying to do here, or what I've done. And if you go over it a few times, I'll put the video the completed video at the end of this video here, so you'll be able to hear the completed version. And then I'll also post the completed version. I think it's like a 5-minute or a 7-minute video by itself too. So have a good day and bye for now.
Did you have a good sleep last night, Danny? You're being recorded. Do you want to say something? Go ahead. Dahil hint masiyas ng dilok yung ibigin natin sa listo bahay. Yeah, you said something, Mama. That's it. Hey. Keep on talking. That's beautiful. Hopefully, not me. Go ahead. Dahil yeah, you can do it. Wouldn't it be? Okay, I'm going to stop it here. Hurry, dapat sa lumay ko. Nice taping. Nipis yan. Do you like being here, Danny? Do you like being here with us? Sa very neat galis. Hinadyo neat galis. You're a happy boy today, eh? Do you want to hear it now? Okay. Excellent. Come on, everything else. Yeah, it'll be fine.